Hey everyone, thank you for joining me today. I'm Michelle and I have a layout share video with you for you. And has quickly become one of my favorite types of videos to do. I love looking back at layouts and trying to remember what my thought process was. So just a little trip down memory lane. Now these are from July and August. And so forgive me if there are some breaks in my thought process as I try to remember what this layout was about. But here we go. So I have this first one is from my creative scrapbook. So this one was relatively recent. This is from the August limited edition kit, and that kit had Prima Cherry Sweet was the main collection in this kit. I did a bit of mixed media on the background with a shimmers paint and then some splatters. I did some stamping with a stamp that was in the kit. Now these photos are all of topiaries or statues at Bouchard Garden. And the flowers are one of the key elements of limited edition kits. And so as a designer, I make sure that I use as many of the flowers as I can. And then I just did a few little ripped edges at the top and the bottom to frame my layout. Now the kit had quite a few tags in it, and so that is what I used for the base of my grid. So there is layout one. Now this one is also using that same kit from limited edition kit, my creative scrapbook. These are some pictures of Paris, and so when I saw this kit, I texted my daughter and begged her for some Paris pictures since there was so many of the journaling aspects that referred to Paris. And this is also using the sketch that comes in the My Creative Scrapbook kit. I did quite a bit of a little more subtle mixed media. I did a lot of heavier inking around the edges. I did this, Here Comes the Sun is stamped, as is this floral. And then I did some stenciling with the stencil that comes in the kit along the side, and then built my clusters. So there is that. Now here is Delilah. And so Delilah has quickly become one of my favorite subjects to scrapbook. This is using the cut file that you have access to from my creative scrapbook. And I did quite a bit of mixed media around the edges. And let's see what else. I have the flowers that are part of the kit. Now, all three of these that I've discussed so far, I do have process videos on my YouTube channel. So be sure to check those out. The hearts here I covered with here, I have it sitting here, with glossy accents. And the pink ones, I used the same spray that I had used for the mixed media to bring in a little bit more of that fuchsia color. Now this layout is my last layout with Pear Tree Cut Files as part of their design team. I am taking a little bit of a break, but I really love how this came out. The cut file is the compass background. I printed this picture of my daughter and the waterfall just on cardstock because I kind of wanted to have that old-fashioned national park kind of photo look to it. This Peace and Quiet title is also from Pear Tree Cut Files. And then I have a few little flowers here that are $49 in Market. Everything else is part of Botanical Buzz. I'm mainly focused on just building one cluster and then a little bit at my title. This little piece here is from a chicken wire die that I have that I tend to use quite a bit when I feel like I need to add a little bit of white. So yeah, there is that one. There is a process video for that one as well. This one is also from Pear Tree Cut Files. So Journey Documented is the cut files. I can't remember. This one might have, I don't think it does have a process video. So the main, blue portion is Flower Emporium. So it's just a mixed media looking background as it is. And I added just a little bit of stamping under my journaling clusters and then built some layers for some pictures of the Grizzly Run ride at California Adventures. Now this is one of my favorite layouts that I did in this time period. So it is also 49 and Market Flower Emporium. I think probably a lot of these layouts are going to be Flower Emporium because I used it quite a bit. So I used Vicky Bouton foundation paper and then the color for the mixed media is Magicals. And so this has, I cut out a lot of the rings that were in one of the pattern papers. I did some stamping here and here. I did a little bit of stencil work. These days, The Life You Love is from a rub-on. Pictures of myself with my girlfriends. And I think this one is a Milo Scrapbook Live project, and so I don't know that it is still in the group. You can certainly check the Layout and More group and see if it's still there. Now this and others, now that after 30 days they go away, I have started downloading them. I haven't put them up on my YouTube channel yet. I'm just not sure if people are interested in an hour-long live where sometimes I finish the project and sometimes I don't, and I provide pictures at the end. But if you're interested in watching those, drop me a comment in this video and I will start adding those to my feed. This one is... oh gosh, what is this? I think I don't remember. I'm going to set it aside and hope that my memory kicks in. Okay, so this one is Pear Tree Cut Files. And so the cut file is these binoculars. And so I cut out the cut file and I backed it with a variety of paper from, this is Arden, Hidden Creek. And so I did raise up the lenses so it looked like the mountains were part of the perspective is a little bit farther back. And then I cut out similar mountains here, used a little bit of mica flakes here to create some snow, added some felt clouds, and then also some sewing. I also cut out some little trees and used my fringe scissors on the edges of those. So yeah, this came out really cute. This is of my husband and I and Delilah at North Cascades National Park. So this is another one of my layouts from my little scrapbook store. It looks like the next couple are like that. So no videos as yet, but again, I can post them if there's interest. This I used primarily Summer Porch, but I also used some elements from Gardenia, I believe. And so 49 in Market. The back of it is a wood grain from Craft Emporium, I think, or Craft Consortium. A beach hut is the name of the pad that has all of the wood grain in it. And I used alcohol ink on the background. So blues, greens, reds, some golds. I used a little bit of stenciling. I used took some black ink through stencils here and here. Lots of splatters. I sewed in the corners and then did a little bit of notebook punch for just a little bit more interest. And so this is my daughter and I picking up Delilah at the farm where she lived in Oregon. And then this is us at home. And title is Homeward Bound. So this one, and a lot of the ones I've been talking about that were from my little scrapbook store, some of them were for just my lives that I do there occasionally, but these last few were for the hop that we had in primarily July, but going into August. And it was based on true crime podcasts. And so this was for one of the challenges. This is my friend Felicia and I at the Crime Junkies show in Everett just in April. And so I used a bit of mixed media through a stencil here and then on the corner here. And then the rest of it is print shop. And so I thought print shop would work really well because it kind of looks like it has like letters you would use for ransom, right? So ransom letters. And so, yeah, that was a lot of fun to create. This one is for Pear Tree Cut Files. I think that there is a video for this one. This is for my friend Misty and her husband Tom. They were in Hawaii, and the paper, this main one is Heidi Swap, and then I used some of Vicki Boutin Where to Next for the embellishments, as well as some flowers that I had embossed previously. Chasing Sunsets is the cut file, and I stacked that, I think, 3 or 4 times just to give it some height and make it look more like a thicker wood. And then this is a film strip from Arden. So that is from the pet tape. So yeah, I love how that turned out. Now this one, this is a 2-page layout. I can't remember if I intended it to be like that or like that. Probably like this. And so this is the first page. This is for the Iron Crafter Challenge, I think for July, where it was a recipe challenge. And I don't, or maybe it was a sketch challenge. Because that typically I wouldn't do a 2-page layout unless it was for a sketch challenge. And so this is my family at San Juan Island. Last year we rented e-bikes and rode around the island. And so pictures of Friday Harbor, America Camp, and then the lighthouse at Limekiln. And then the collection is Flower Emporium. And then the right page has the journaling. It has the couple more clusters mirroring the other side, our ferry ride, and then the seals, Roach Harbor, and the English Harbor. And so I did do some mixed media on this. I don't know how well you can see it. But I really believe, I'm trying to remember what I used for color, but I just did strips of color. So I just had some watercolors and I just took my fan brush and I just went 4 strips and then did some white texture paste on top and then some splatters. So, but like I said, it was the Iron Crafters Challenge, and there is, so it was a YouTube hop, so there would be a video on my channel. So, all right, this fun layout is for the YouTube sketch hop that I participate in, and so this hop is the second Friday of every month, and every month one of us picks a sketch and a topic to use. And so I didn't choose this one. I can't remember who did, but I love the sketch. It had the triangles going down. And so the collection that I used, this looks like kaleidoscope and bits and pieces of, I think probably sunburst for this blue picture behind it. And this parts of these are definitely sunburst from 49 and Market. And I wanted to have just a graduation of blues going down. So these are part of the teal, ocean, and then what is the name of the dark blue collection from 49 and Market? Maybe indigo? Does that sound right? I think that might be the case. And so then I sewed on my triangles, built my cluster around it. These pictures are of my friends Felisa and Paul in Hawaii. So it was, again, a YouTube hop. And so there is a video on my channel. Oh my, so cute. So this is, what is this for? Okay, I'm going to set this one aside too, and refresh my memory as far as what it's for, and then I will come back to it. Okay, so this one is for, I believe it's Mix It Up Monday, and so that is also a YouTube hop. I believe it's the second Monday of every month, and so I did a bit of mixed media in the corner there, and then down here I mixed some different collections. Some of this is Flower Emporium, and then some bits of it are Hip Hit Club. I used a dimensional perspective title from Bramble Fox. There is a video of this on my channel, and this is our first hour or two in Disneyland. And so my daughter and I, as soon as we walked in, we took a selfie here by one of the booths. She and I and my niece with Mary Poppins, and then our very first snack, which is the cannot be beat garlic bread with cheese. They're at, I think it's Giuseppo's booth. They're in Fantasyland. So, all right. So this layout is from the August. Is that right? So the last one I just talked about was the September kit. And so when I do my layouts the month before, so it was the September limited edition kit, which I would have done in August. So this must be the August kit that I did in July. And so the August kit for limited edition had Nature's Haven from 49 and Market. And so I used it to create this layout using lots of circles because I was inspired by this wreath shape, and the viewfinder slides to document Groot. So my daughter and I met Groot there at California Adventure, and would I normally use a layout or a collection like this for a character meet and greet? Well, probably not, but he's just so, well, he's made of wood, right? So how much more nature can you get? And so I did some mixed media on the background. I ripped the paper so it would create that white center that I could do some color on. I punched out a lot of circles out of the various papers in the collection, and then I used some of the rub-ons that came in the collection in a Simple Stories rub-on set, added some flowers, and added a fox to represent Rocket here and here. So yeah, other little details, but this is, I think, my favorite layout that I did from that collection. So this one is also from Disneyland. I've done more Disneyland pictures than I thought. I've been like kind of thinking, oh, I need to do Disneyland, but I've been doing them here and there. So this one is for Pear Tree Cut Files. So this is celebrating some of the treats that we had when we were there. So I tore out this pink ledger paper and adhered it, and then I cut out a castle from Pear Tree Cut Files, and then travel treats from Pear Tree Cut Files. And I don't know if you can really see, but I scored strips of paper so they would form a U, and then I glued them to the next one. So that's why it looks like it's raised, and that's why it has so much dimension. I did some mixed media to kind of look like fireworks, and then built some clusters, and done. And that one is on my channel. And let's see. So we have Delilah again. So this layout was for that same crop I was talking about with my little scrapbook store, the one that was true crime inspired. And so this one was a sketch. I did this layout during a design team live, and so I don't have access to this one, but it might be on the YouTube site for my little scrapbook. So this sketch was, at just the diagonal piece there with some journaling around the corner and using arrows. So I made my triangle a little bit smaller so that I could get a little bit more dimension and have plenty of room for my journaling. I cut out this pie element from cut and paste. This whole collection is cut and paste, and then cut it down so it would just fit in a corner. I love adding little cloud elements. I added this embellishment cluster up here, and yeah, it was really cute. I really like how this came together. Particularly, it's these lives, whether it's a design team live or it's one that I do on my own for an hour. For an hour for me is it's really challenging to get a layout done in an hour, and so and have me like that layout. And so I really like this one, so I'm happy with it. All right, this one is from the August limited edition kit, and this one is based on the sketch. And so I did some mixed media up in here. This is texture paste, translucent texture paste by Tim Holtz. This Moment was a chipboard title that I used some enamel glaze on to give it color and shine. Created a little cluster up here. Created a little scene down here with the mice looking at each other and the flowers and a mushroom. I did do a bit of zigzag sewing and use zigzag on the edge down here. And yeah, this is all about a tulip field visit that we did a few years ago with our neighbors. All right, so this one is also using that same kit, and I think all of these, what is the other one I have? 3 out of the 4 of these I have videos for. So the 2 that I showed you previously, and then this one, all have videos. Forever in My Heart was a cut file that is in the My Creative Scrapbook website in their library of cut files. And so I tore through here just to give my title somewhere to really draw your eye and to sit. I ink blended the Forever in My part of the cut file, and then I cut out the heart in that green gingham and added a little strawberry heart. And the layout really just goes like this. I mean, it has the title here, so there really it's a pretty busy layout. Even I would admit that. But my daughter Julia, and then I used the banner here to take it to the flowers. The green flowers were originally ivory, and I just dyed them. And then down here, it goes down this way with the birdies in the corners, a little fox here, a little flower here, and it all just kind of blends into the bottom of the page that has quite a bit of design and interest. So yeah, there is that one. Now this is my 4th layout, and I just messed up my video portion of it, which I feel really bad about because it was a fun layout to do. So I have some pattern paper up here. I have my dream title that I covered with, I believe it's tea rose. Added a few flowers here, colored my crowns of my flower with white. The frame felt just a little solid, and so I broke it up with a brick stencil that I have. And then down in this portion, I did a bit of mixed media. Trying to remember, I think that I used tumbled egg or speckled egg and that same Tim Holtz texture paste, translucent texture paste that I mentioned earlier. And then I also added some tea rose, and the butterflies are from the Simple Stories rub-on. I added a little bit more brick stencil through here, and then I just created a couple of little clusters here and here. And this picture is at, I'm pretty sure it's Ross Lake. It's either Ross or Diablo. This was several years ago when we were hiking with some friends, and these are our kiddos being silly. So, okay, so this layout is one that I did for the YouTube sketch hop. And so the sketch had, you know, pie shapes coming out of the side. And so I did quite a bit of mixed media, like in the background. I believed I used Lindy Magicals for these. I did a little bit of stenciling with probably either Uncharted Mariner or It might be Chip Sapphire, but it doesn't look purple enough for Chip Sapphire. So I think it was Uncharted Mariner. I cut out my pie shapes using the 49 and Market wedge die cut. And that is what these pieces are as well. These are from the lace die. The collection that I used was Everywhere by 49 and Market. What else? This is a picture of my husband and I in Venice. And it felt like there was a lot of weight over here with the windows. There's a little rub-on back here of hot air balloon. And then with the film strip, it just felt like, and then the title, of course, down here, it felt like there was a lot of weight on this side. This kind of got crooked, I see. And so I just cut off, you know, 1/4 of an inch off of this side and added a blue strip and sewed it down just so it would feel more balanced. And so that's like an asymmetrical type of design. Just, you know, not everything is going to have the same appearance, but the weight you want to be somewhat equal. And so that's how I handled that. All right, this one is also for my little scrapbook store. So I don't have it on my YouTube channel yet, but I have downloaded it. And so this one, the challenge was, I think, black and white. And you could use a little bit of color. So since my pictures had quite a bit of violet in them, I used violet or purple on the cut file. These pictures are from Funko here in Western Washington in Everett. They have a showroom there. I did quite a bit of stenciling. This is a brick stencil here and up in here. And then I traced around the brick stencil with a black pen on some of them. The collection is charcoal by 49 and Market. This floral piece is from Bo Bunny. And then the Oh Yeah title is from Vicki Booten from her chipboard title set. So yeah, I really like how this came out. And I've had these pictures, I swear from, it's been like 8 or 9 years, and I just never had the right inspiration or the right collection or whatever to do it. So it was nice to get those scrapbooked. Okay, this one is also my creative scrapbook layout. This was doing a live, I believe I did this live with T from my little scrapbook design team. And so I do not have a video for this one, but the challenge was crime scene tape. So it was using yellow and black. And so I am documenting some backyard shenanigans, summer shenanigans. My husband and I, every month, in the summer, we get a box of cocktails from Cocktail Courier, and it's been great just for enjoying time on our patio. And so obviously, you know, there's quite a bit of mixed media in the background. I did add a little bit of pinky purple. There's some rub-ons, and then I did, you know, kind of a X marks the spot location for my picture, and my summer shenanigans title is a perspective from Bramble Fox. I also did, you know, a little bit of edging and then sewed it down just to bring your eye to those embellishment blocks as well. So let me figure out these last two layouts and I will be right back. All right, I think I have my act together now. So this layout is for the Iron Crafter Challenge, I think in July. And so the challenge was to use punches. And so that is what all of this action up here is about, is I just use a bunch of different punches, etc. This collection is a older Hip Kit Club collection. Of course, Delilah, documented. I never want to forget. How cute is this fur baby? And then I added some gems to some dragonflies. And this one does have a video. Ended up being from Rainbow Crush. And so the prompt was black. And so I used a lot of the charcoal collection from 49 and Market, and also a lot of the black and white pieces are from Gardenia, I believe. So I put clear gesso on my background, and then I drew a line with a black soot pencil and then blended it with water, and that is what my pictures are sitting on. I added some, I think this is peacock feathers, through a brick stencil and then through kind of a dot stencil. And then the rub-ons are also from the Gardenia collection. And what else did I do? The film strip pieces are from Arden. That is pet tape. And then I have some acrylic pieces and some gems from my stash. So those are my July, August layouts. And so I can tell already, I'm trying, or I've kind of decided to go away from commitment so much. I'm still doing my creative scrapbook design team, and I'll still do guest designing for my little scrapbook store, but I'm thinking I'm going to do more of the YouTube hops, just because it's easier to plan vacations around, and either, you know, I can do a lot of different things when I have the time, and it doesn't stress me out when I have a bunch of deadlines. So that is my current plan. And so with that, I will have to start writing on the backs of my layouts what they were for, so that I don't have to depend on my memory. So thank you everyone for joining me, and I look forward to sharing a September, October layout share in November. And other than that, please check out my process videos on my channel, and I will see you later. Have a good one.